Hi, welcome to Ray at the Movies, and today I'm going to do the 4K Blu-ray 4K review, not Blu-ray, of Tremors 2 Aftershocks by Arrow Video. Now, they do have a Blu-ray version. The one thing I will say is they do a good job with their transferring movies into 4K, but I just wish they did what some of the companies did, like Kino Lorber and Screen Factory, where they give you the option of also having the movie in Blu-ray. But that's a excuse me. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of history for Tremors 2. Now, as you know, when Tremors 1 came out, it was not a big hit, but it came a big hit on video. So they were approached to do a sequel. And if they were able to get Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire, more Kevin Bacon, they would have had a budget of $14 million. But Kevin Bacon turned down the movie because the first one not being a hit, and he wanted to focus on other things. And if I'm not mistaken, he was working on Apollo 13. So when they weren't able to get both Reba or Kevin at all on board, they chopped it to $2 million. Now, they had a big script, enormous script, which had a lot of action in it with Bert, Val, Heather, and Earl. But once Kevin Bacon and Reba didn't come back, they had to get rid of that script ended. And the climax of the script was 20 pages long, and it had them facing thousands of shriekers. But that had to be cut down because once Kevin and Reba didn't want to come back for the sequel. Now, that idea would later show up in the TV series. Okay, let's see. Matthew Perry and Steve Buscemi both had read for the part of Grady. That would end up going to Christopher Garton. Now, let's go ahead and go to the trivia, which is a lot of trivia. So, there's a running theme through 2 and 3 where Bert is always prepared only to fail only because the biology of the graboids ended up being the shriekers and, of course, the ass blasters. He'd end up being wrong. So I'll read it, but I was gonna read the whole thing, but I just summed it up real quick because it's a lot to read, and I kept messing up. So, but that's the gist of it, and also would kind of give away the third movie, and I didn't realize that it didn't even give me warning about the spoiler. This is all from IMDb. The first half was from the auto commentary that I gathered. I didn't get every single thing, of course, but I thought those were interesting to note that they did have a huge budget. Not a big budget, but a budget that if Kevin Bacon had come back. Now, of course, he's since decided that he likes the movie, and he's even tried to do a TV series, which never materialized. Sci-Fi said no. Actually, I don't even know who was in charge of that now. Okay. When the oil field employees attempted to recruit Earl for a graboid problem in Mexico, he states that he had already tried to capture the services of Senor McKee. Earl responds, "Val married a good woman. Why would he want to die?" Implying that Val and Rona had since been married after the events of the first film. Given that the graboids were largely unknown before 1989, it became a protected species around 2002. There is a questionable legitimacy to Ortega's actions in recruiting his hunters. He is trying to rid one of Mexico's most lucrative oil fields of an infestation, as it's possible that the political pressure to protect an endangered species could have forced its closure. The discolored bricks in the wall of Bert's basement mark the place where a graboid broke through in the original Tremors. In a 2000 interview, S.S. Wilson acknowledged that Universal wanted them to shoot the film so that it would also fit in what's called the 1.85 format. The conventional aspect ratio, for those unfamiliar, 1.85 is also the aspect ratio of the first Tremors film. There is a short scene where Earl explains how the graboids got their name in the first movie from Walter Chung. Earl had named them. Then they ate him, which is true. Two designs were created for the Shriekers. One was used for this film, and the other was recycled for the bugs in Starship Troopers. Effects artist Phil Tippett helmed the effects work for both films at the same time. If you watch Starship Troopers closely, the bugs have mandibles identical to the graboids from Tremors. The scene where Bert fights the Shrieker horde as they ambush his truck was actually scripted, entirely shot, but was cut from the film. Director S.S. Wilson doubled as Grummer for a stunt sequence and jumped through the truck's windshield for a scene. However, the scene was ultimately deleted when the producers felt they couldn't get the CGI Shriekers to look convincing through enough against the nighttime background. Okay. Acclimated Dynamics was faced with a challenge different from the first film. In Tremors, the graboids spend most of their time underground and a prop was not needed. In this film, the Shriekers spend all their time above ground and there are always more Shriekers than graboids, thus the need for more props. The Shrieker props used in the film include the two fully articulated full-scale puppet Shriekers, 3 handheld puppet versions of the Shriekers, and 3 unjointed, non-articulated rubber Shrieker dummies. The fully articulated full-scale Shriekers required 16 puppeteers to operate, while rubber Shriekers not requiring puppeteers were used in scenes when a Shrieker needed to be dropped, shot, or exploded. On the wall of Earl's home, we see that he and Val did end up in both People and National Geographic, a magazine among others. Also, the photo used for People is the one that Rona took of Val and Earl at the end of the movie. In the first movie, they both discuss about how they'll make it to the cover of People magazine or National Geographic. In this script, Earl and Grady venture inside the destroyed radio tower and discover multiple dead bodies. The scene was removed due to its interference with pacing and it'd go over budget. Storyboards of this scene can be seen on the interior flaps of the original Laserdisc release. After film and production wrapped in 1994, Tremors was shelved for 2 years after the studio was unsure what to do with the movie. This was because Universal was shocked when the test audience adored the film and demanded it play in theaters, which prompted the creators to fight Universal proposal into sending the film direct to video. After 2 years of trying to secure a wide theatrical release failed, and Universal finally released the film in April of 1996, exactly 2 years after the film had finished. Alright, now to go into the cast. Fred Ward, you might know from The Right Stuff, Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, Tremors, Cast a Deadly Spell, Christopher Gatton, Mantis, the TV series that ran from 1994 to 1995, Flight Plan, Firstborn, Black Swan, Helen Shaver, The Amityville Horror, The Color of Money, The Believers, The Land Before Time, Michael Gross, Family Ties from 1982 to 1989, Tremors 1 through 7, the Tremors TV series, sometimes they come back again, and to note, he's the only one to be in all the sequels. Directed by S.S. Wilson, who also directed Tremors 4, written by S.S. Wilson and Brett Maddock, who did Short Circuit, Batteries Not Included, Tremors, Ghost Dad. Music by Jay Ferson, License to Drive, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, and Double Dragon. Special effects by Acclimate Dynamics. Visual effects were done by Tippett Studio. Okay, now this was released on April 9th, 1996, and Arrow Video did the new restoration from the original negative by Arrow Films, approved by the director. The 4K UHD Blu-ray presentation is Dolby Vision. Original lossless 2.0 and 4.0 surround audio. Optical English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Brand new Feature commentary by director, co-writer S.S. Wilson and co-producer Nancy Roberts. Brand new feature commentary by Jonathan Madville, author of Seeking Perfection, the unofficial guide to Tremors. Graboids Go Boom. A newly filmed interview with special effects designer Peter Chastney. Critical need to know information. A newly filmed interview with CG supervisor Phil Tippett. The making of Tremors 2, an on-set featurette with a cast and crew. Outtakes, trailers for Tremors and Tremors 2 Aftershocks. Image gallery. This was released on November 28, 2023. And what are my thoughts? I think this is a fantastic transfer. They did a very good job, and the movie looks as best as it's ever going to be. I highly recommend, if you're a Tremors fan, on picking this one up in either 4K or Blu-ray, however you want. But I highly recommend it in 4K because it looks fantastic. This is a movie that I owned on VHS and DVD, and then of course on Blu-ray with that 4-disc set, which the quality was, it was okay. This is the best I've ever seen it. So like I said, if you're a Tremors fan, pick this up. You're not going to be disappointed. They did a great job. I love the special features that they have, and it's nice little insight with the auto commentary. Now, I didn't listen to the one with the writer of, what was the name of the book? Because I actually have the book, I just haven't read it yet. Seeking Perfection, the unofficial guide to Tremors. It covers all the Tremors up to the 6th movie, I think. But no, I remember seeing this movie and really liking it. I think that Fred Ward and Michael Gross are fantastic. So is the cast, but they're riffing off each other is great. And to get to see them both together on the screen again was great. And that they were able to get Fred Ward to come back. Now, like I said, I highly recommend it. The movie is great. It's fantastic. I love the way it was written. It's a very good sequel. It's too bad that they weren't able to get Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire to come back. It would have been interesting to see what that movie would have looked like. But I'm happy with the results we had. And but if you like Tremors, the Tremors franchise, I recommend you buy this. You won't be disappointed. I love the box and the booklet and the poster, as well as there's something that I forgot to do when I did the unboxing video from Diabolic. I think it was Diabolic DVD. I forgot where I got it from. But here is the sorry for the rain. I think you might be able to hear it. Okay, this is a cool little actually goes into the whole autonomy of the Shrieker. It's kind of cool. So with that, I'm out of here. You have a good one rest of your weekend. And I am out of here.